Yeah.
All right, it's 8 o'clock. Let's call the Water and Light Commission meeting for May 20th, 2026 to order. Please call roll.
Commissioner Grindy?
Yes.
Commissioner Rapaz?
Yes.
Commissioner Quirk?
Yes.
Commissioner Riopel?
Yes.
Thank you. Approved minutes from previous meeting, May 6th, 2026.
I'll move. Second.
Please call roll.
Grindy?
Yes.
Rapaz?
Yes.
Quirk?
Yes.
Riopel?
Yes.
Bills and payroll.
I'll move. Second.
Please call roll.
Grindy?
Yes.
Rapaz?
Yes.
Quirk?
Yes.
Riopel?
Yes.
Nothing from the public. Reports. Todd's fill-in.
At least he's here on time.
Yeah, that's what I said. Wow.
Yeah, so to start, good morning.
Morning, sir.
So for business highway 2, the closeout, I'll be able to start a substantial completion check punch list, which should get going here pretty soon. Yesterday there was a CMS solar meeting, discussed layouts. For the VFW arena, for cost estimates, we're waiting on load information to get the transformer sizing. Then we're starting to fill out construction units to get quotes out for some miscellaneous projects that have come up. Last week on the 13th, we met with Crystal Sugar to go over plans for their beet freeze. So waiting to get stuff back from them for a different option, and also we're going to get quotes set up to go out to get quotes for different switches and other different equipment. Starting to set up budget numbers for 2027, and then other than that, just some random miscellaneous things, and that's about it.
Any questions? No. Thank you, sir. Steve.
Good morning.
Morning, Todd.
Welcome back, Mike.
Thank you.
Just update for you. So last Tuesday, we had the bid opening for the lead service line project. Went fairly quick because we got no bids. So made some phone calls, have a couple contractors, local almost I would say, that typically bid these type of projects. The one had just noted that kind of due to their current workload, he didn't even look at the plans. He had pulled them, so he was a plan holder. And then one of the other contractors just had looked at it, thought there wasn't a lot of work there for them. I mean, there isn't a lot of work, and if you look at it from an underground contractor, you dig the hole, you probably need a subcontractor to do the boring. Once you get inside, you need a plumber, and now you need the subcontractor to do the concrete work, for replacing the sidewalk that you removed. And so they just felt that wasn't a lot of work there for them, so they'd kind of passed on it. Talked to did have one smaller contractor that does a lot of just water service, sewer service type of work, and he was in Monday prior to the opening of bids, and he had every intention of bidding it, but then he found out last minute he was going to have some issues getting bonding, so he wasn't able to submit a bid. So I guess one thing after another, but I have got some inquiries, just kind of the status, if we're going to bid it again. So I got to believe, I'm going to just double check with Department of Health, but I got to believe that, bidding versus getting a quote should still apply even with PFA funding. But I'm going to confirm that, because my thought is maybe if we could find a couple interested contractors, just send it out, get a couple quotes, and hopefully we should be covered versus maybe having to rebid everything. So
what's the value of the whole? What's the value of the project?
We're probably in that 125, 150. So we're under that $175,000 threshold. Okay. So like I said, I'm just going to double check just because of the funding, make sure there's no issues with doing that. But to me, if we can find a couple local contractors even that are, you know, say they'll give us bids, we'll go that direction. So just wanted to kind of give you an update on that, and you know, we'll kind of figure out how to move this forward. We'd still like to get the work done this year. So
The gentleman that couldn't get the bonding, is he a local person?
local person.
Is he just new in the business and can't get the bonding, or
They tightened up a lot.
They had some, let's say, maybe family issues that led to some problems and stuff. It sounds like they're working on it. I think the last time I talked to him, it sounded like everything might be worked out now, so he may be able to, at this point, get the bonding. So, and typically, I mean, he was even having trouble getting a bid bond. And a lot of times too, if we just go out for quotes, we don't require the bid bond, so that would take away one requirement, you know. So.
Yeah, I just wondered if we can't get anybody to do this, if there's some way we could work with this gentleman if we know him or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe he can work for us. I mean, we could, you know.
I like this approach because since it didn't get any bids the first time, if you can do it with just quotes, you're going to keep everything in check.
Yeah.
You know, from getting too out of whack.
Yeah.
And the individual that we're talking about, we've worked with before, and I think we're plenty happy with the work.
Okay.
And the one contractor that told me he didn't even look at it, didn't even open it, he pulled plans, but never looked at it. I talked to him yesterday, and he said if we do put it out, he said, let me know. He said as long as, you know, the completion date's kind of far enough into the fall so I can make sure I get it completed, he said, I'll, you know, take a shot at it. So,
Okay.
very shocking though. We had 8 different plan holders that were, you know, either listed as like prime bidders, general contractors, and yeah, not a bid. So it was really shocking.
Huh.
So we'll take another run at it.
Thank you. Anything else? No? That's it. Any questions?
Nope.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gallstead.
I was just going to, one more comment on what Steve was talking about, was that as long as it meets the funding requirements from whoever's, you know, providing money, the quotes is just the way to go. You know, you don't have to bid that out at all, so it would be okay to send it out for quotes. Easy enough that way, as long as you're not pre-selecting. And then other than that, like I said last night, hope everybody has a wonderful Memorial Day and be safe.
Stay warm. All right, old business. Nothing. Water main replacement, VFW Arena.
Okay, so I guess, you know, everyone's aware that, you know, they're doing the improvements at the arenas. When the project was kind of officially bid, they were, at the VFW, they were looking at more of a mill and overlay of the existing parking lot with some, you know, minor, I'd call it ADA improvements, putting a little bit of sidewalk and stuff. Numbers came back a little better than they anticipated, so now they're looking at doing a brand new parking lot. And on the drawing I sent you, you can kind of see, you know, the new parking lot layout. So as we started looking at that a little closer, there was about 300 some feet, I think I figured, of 12-inch ACP water main that was going to be underneath that existing parking lot that was put in about 1976, so going on 50 years. So I kind of put together some preliminary estimates, met with Keith, Todd, Brian, just kind of discussed it. I think we all agree maybe the best is try to, you know, get that upgraded now so we don't have any issues in the near future. Again, 50-year-old water main, ACP. I know the city hasn't had a lot of problems with it, but Murphy's Law, about the time we get a brand new parking lot over it, we're going to have issues. So with that, we'd be kind of looking for authorization just to proceed with putting together some plans for that project. I have visited with construction engineers too, and basically we would pretty much be running this project through their contractor that's doing the site work, underground work for the VFW project, and they were fine with kind of adding it to that project. As they said, as long as there's a funding source to pay for it. So that would really just expedite it, keep everything under more or less one contract too with.
So we'd be going
Part of
through
project.
construction engineers.
Yep.
So it won't be a change order then, it'll just be an addendum to it, or?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I suppose it'll be kind of a change order
yeah.
through their project, and then Water and Light would just, be the funding source essentially. But so we would just basically what we'll do is we'll finish the plan. We'll probably give the plan to construction engineers. They'll get it to their subcontractor for pricing, and then once you have pricing back, then just decide if you want to move forward. So. But
If that gets to a certain price, does it have to be rebid again, or?
Well, right now I think we're gonna be underneath that too, Mike. Because we've looked at it too. When we put together the estimate, we were 12-inch main and stuff, and Brian would like to actually probably put in 8-inch water main there, because when they're filling the reservoir, they're having to throttle it down so much with valves and stuff. So we're even going to just put an 8-inch main there just to help with that too. So yeah, based on where we're at, because I put together an estimate based on the 12-inch, and at that time I think we were 135,000. So we're going to be well under that 175,000.
And Todd's gonna help them with hydrants as well. This is an efficient way to do it to the same bidding, and that's why we're thinking about doing it.
Right.
Yeah, let's see where they come in at.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Water and Light's got a hydrant too, or some hydrants, so they're going to supply the hydrant, and
Sure.
so that'll help too, because we had that included in the price. So just looking to get authorization, just to, I guess, prepare those plans and then get estimates.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy,
Yes.
Rapaz,
Yes.
Quirk,
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 2026 electrical equipment and materials bid recommendations.
So bids are open for electrical equipment and materials last week on May 12th at 2 p.m. So everything was awarded to the lowest bidder in line items 2 through 20. On line item number 1, we weren't able to award it to Gray Bar as they weren't able to be firm on their price, and they weren't able to submit price for their metals. And then for line item 21, we decided not to go with award that bid as it came in double our cost estimate. So for in general, our cost estimate for the line items 1 through 20, we estimated cost around $53,926.30. This bid with line items came in about 3% less at $52,332.81. All 5 bidders were awarded at least some items in this, and yeah, I guess the recommendation would be to approve.
Looking for a motion to approve miscellaneous material purchases.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy,
Yes.
Rapaz,
Yes.
Quirk,
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Been all over the board.
All right, item number 9, 2025 WAPA Renewable Energy Certificates.
So we had something come up with the WAPA REC RCA. After some discussion with MMPA, they became more interested in the RECs, and so we're still in the process of determining what the best route will be for who we want to sell them to. MMPA has offered to purchase them for 15 years, and so I think that's a pretty good deal, and so we want to play this process out, and then we'll bring it back to you at that time.
So we'll just
I'd like to
table it for
table
now.
this, yeah.
Any questions?
Nope.
Let her ride. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, department heads, Toddy.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
So, guys, Blue Peak's been going pretty heavy in that first section 5. They're getting close to completion. We had the construction meeting yesterday. I figured they'd be wrapped up in that by possibly next Thursday or Friday. So they'll be moving into the next section. Kind of asked them to get their locates ahead of time, so we're not chasing them around that quick. So it sounds like they'll be calling some of those in, so it'll give us a little time to get in there and get everything covered, so don't end up getting overloaded there. So they've been doing a good job. They've been in good communication with us, so that's the main thing. Let's hope it stays that way and continues on the way they're calling and letting us know what they're finding.
Good.
We did move the transformer over at the VFW parking lot. We moved it up towards the building. Spliced the wires there. When we did re-energize that, we had a splice fail, so we had a pretty good outage there for about 19 minutes, knocked out part of the downtown. Never seen one of those do that like that before in the time that I've been here, so that was an unfortunate that happened. But we did get it back on, and everything's up and working. We have the transformer up by the building, so when they move forward on the parking lot, that'll be out of the way and out of that low spot, so that's good. And then we did remove the 2 feeds that feed the transformers, both the transformers over at the VFW arena. The guys dug back on the wire over there, and I'm waiting on the contractor. Once they start tearing out the blacktop, we'll go in and try and, we think it's going to relocate to where we need to go. They moved the site where the transformer was going to be closer. So we're hoping that we can get those wires in there, and then once we get our boring contractor, we'll put a loop on that. And didn't have a loop before, it was just a radial. So we'll have a loop on that in case anything ever goes bad there. And then we did have the meeting on the solar project. It looked like that's moving along pretty good. So we'll just keep that one going. It sounds like, what, a couple of weeks they'd probably be starting out there?
3 months.
So. And then we did have a transformer that failed yesterday morning over at the East Grand Forks Dental Care. I just got a call this morning. They were missing a phase over there, but I believe it's on the secondary side. I did get a report back that we did have power there, so we'll send that transformer off and get it reworked and find out what was wrong with it. We did get one more water meter in, so the number is down to 5. We're working with the one contractor. They were trying to get some people out of there so we can continue on, and hopefully we get these numbers down to where it needs to be 0. That project's been going on for a while. And then we did meet with Folsom Farms. Their load calculation sheets came in. Todd's working on the easement there to go right through their middle of their property there. We would be setting a couple transformers as we talked before, so he'll run the calculations on that. And then once we do get a contractor on board, we'll get moving on that one fairly quick there. And then we did have a meeting with American Crystal Sugar in relation to the deep freeze. We came up with another option there. We're waiting to hear back from them. That one would probably work out the best for us. But we're still waiting on, as Evan mentioned, for the bidding on the other transformers and all that. We'll add our other material into that. As he said, that one switch came back pretty high, but I think we had a good meeting with them, and I think we can accommodate what they need to do there. And we have put a couple hydrant meters in so far. That usually happens in the spring. So we've had a couple of those out there. We haven't had any cold enough weather. We put them in pretty late. So, and then we did have one. We found a water leak yesterday over on 3rd Street Northwest, and that I talked to Steve about it. It's galvanized coming up through the floor, so I'm sure it's probably lead at the service. And that I thought that was on the list of the unidentified, but yeah, but it wasn't. So if anybody does any work there, it's going to have to be replaced all the way into the house because it's at the state. It's going to be lead anyway. So we don't want to have. We got to figure out. Maybe I talked to Steve yesterday. He had a call into the guy from the state to find out if we can have any money set aside if we go in there and have that dug up. You know, it would get replaced into the house. So hopefully we can have something set aside so if somebody does it, they don't lose that funding.
So we got another 10 then besides the 10. Is that about right? What's the total?
Right now, it's this. Adding this one, it would be 20.
10. So we're doing a project of 10 and potentially be another right now, another one, 10.
So I'll keep working with Steve and hopefully we can figure that out. But it isn't leaking real bad right now, but if you dig it up, it has to be replaced all the way into the house. You don't have the option to repair that because if something breaks off in there, it's into the house. That's not what we want. So we'll keep working on that and give you an update, and then we'll go from there. Any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
What's that?
You're good, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks.
Brian.
Good morning.
Morning.
So to start it off, I'd like to mention that all the state required samples for the month of May have been collected and sent for analysis. I did attend a LAWA board meeting last week in which we learned that Senator Hoven from North Dakota secured an additional $100 million for the Red River Valley Water Supply Project, and he's working on securing up to another $100 million for it. I mean, obviously that's a significant amount of money, and you team that up with the $290 million cost savings that they had by going or utilizing the McCluskey Canal instead of going all the way back to the Missouri. So you're getting close to $500 million there. So, and then Integrated Processes Solutions was at the plant to complete the quarterly calibrations last week, and Widseth Plumbing was also there, performed their annual RPZ or backflow prevention inspections as well. On Monday, we had the Northwest Minnesota Planning Committee meeting, and that's in regards to the Department of Health conference that's going to be held next October. And then lastly, I have another LAWA board meeting next week, and then also our intern is scheduled to start on Tuesday.
Excellent.
That's all I got.
Any questions for Brian?
I want to add to his report. So Brian and I are still working with Grand Forks. They have been researching the Lower Red Lake. They've been running a model on it to get some accurate, to double check the numbers on what we could foresee to see coming down the Lower Red Lake if we had this severe drought. And so we've been engaged with them and putting our input in on that. The other thing I wanted to mention is, if you recall, West Central Rural Water District, when they're trying to form, and so we had met with them. I know with the city we had talked about support letters. In the bonding bill, they got $5 million for that project. So I know, if you recall, several months back, they were looking for water, and so that's starting to get some traction, so that was good to see. The only other bonding that I saw for this area was the potato. We have a potato research here, and they got a little over $1 million for that. And so I wanted to let you know about that.
Any other questions?
How's our water flow doing? Are we nearing the drought situation at all, or are we up?
No, flows have been strong. They got water north of us, heavy rains, and then that big snowfall, earlier this spring, that was back in April. So flows have been strong, and, even out of lower Red Lake, we're still looking at, 300 CFS coming down that way. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Bree.
Nothing else this question?
Okay, any questions for Brianna?
Nope.
How about Carla?
Nothing unless you have questions.
How about Jordan?
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
A few quick updates here. I'll start with the rebates. I'm starting to see some of those AC tune-ups come in, so that's going to be pretty regular, usually through about September. It is spring cleanup week with that, with our advertising through the radio and our socials. I've actually been getting some questions ahead of time on that, of what people need to do for the process, so it's been beneficial to advertise that, and probably getting about 4 or 5 a day so far, so a little better participation than last spring, I think, with that. And then alongside the residential rebates for this round, I've got the 2025 American Crystal rebate, so that's going to be lighting upgrades, but primarily most of the savings on that is the VFD upgrades they've done. So once I send the check over to them, I'll just touch base and see if they have any other capital projects we can look at with Frontier, just to add on to besides just doing the VFDs and lighting. So speaking of Frontier, still working on finding a date for the middle of June just to kind of look at Northland, some of the projects going on at VFW Civic Center. Earlier this month, May 6th, I sat in with a couple sessions with Nick and Ray from the water plant over at Heritage Village as part of the annual water festival they do for elementary. So I just want to give a shout out to them. It was a really good presentation on the whole water process, and got some pictures for our newsletters and some of our communications. So that was a good event. And besides that, just looking forward, got that June 1st deadline for our eco reporting for that SIP report to the state. So looking at trying to get that compiled and completed this week ahead of time, and working on contacting a few businesses that are planning some projects this summer. Any questions on anything?
Questions for Jordan? No. Thank you, sir.
Perfect. Thank you.
Corey.
Just a couple updates. Tyler project is starting to move. Many staff have been taking training over the last couple months. We did our first data pull this last week, and there's relatively few issues with that right now we need to resolve. And we've been assigned a project manager from Tyler, and we're going to get together with them and work out a more firm schedule going forward here. So, also working with MMPA on metering and comms to the solar plant that's going in down at the middle school. We think we got that worked out fairly well. And also, each of the commissioners here should have received an email on setting up a city email account. Please follow those and get set up on there. Our League of Minnesota Cities cyber insurance requires all city business be done with city email accounts. So if you need help, let us know. Give us a call. So, and then any questions?
Any questions for Corey? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Keith.
So reported most of it. I just want to again thank staff for working with on the solar project. They've been very proactive, and I've been impressed with how we've been able to help and assist that project, and I'm just happy that it's moving forward and that everybody was so proactive and helped work towards a solution to make it a good project. The only other thing that I'll mention is I'm going to be going down to the cities for an MMPA board meeting on Tuesday. And that's the rest of it has been covered.
Any questions for Keith?
Nope. No.
How about you, Reed?
Good, just listening.
All right. Commissioner reports.
Nothing? No?
I don't want to hear about it, Tim.
Good to be back.
All right, motion to adjourn till June 3rd.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy,
Yes.
Pass.
Yes.
Quirk.
Yes.
Rehappel.
Yes.